everybody, hello, we're back again, and I did say yesterday that my day 10 tag, which is day 10 of the 100-day project, would be Edith, but might have fibbed a bit. It is in fact another Timmy tag. So it's kind of a tag within a tag within a tag, but you'll see as we go along, it's not difficult. Right, so if you're using the same measurements as I am, you need a piece of card or stiff paper that is 8 inches by 6. Okay, and then we're going to score it. And we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. And then 3 3/4, which I know is bizarre, but that's just what it is. So, is that right? Yes, I think so. So, let me just check. I've made one of these already. Look, it's gorgeous. I just want to check that's what it is. Yeah, 3 3/4. I'm not going to score with my pencil, am I? So, that's a half. So, 1, 2, 3. No, that's not right. That's 1/2 inch. So 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, and then 3/4. Yeah, 4 1/4. So I'm scoring at half and I'm scoring at 4 1/4. Excellent. Right, that's that. So I'm going to fold that in and crease it over with my bone folder. And then I'm going to fold this one in and crease that, because it needs to be 3 3/4 if you remember, because we made our box 4 inches, so we need it to be slightly narrower. So that's going to fold over there. Now it's too accurate and I need to just trim some off this edge. Let's put that out of the way. Yeah, just trim a little bit off this so it lies flush. And I mean just a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. Let's try that for size. So that folds in there and that folds over there. Still a little bit long. We need it to lie nice and flat. Perfect. That's perfect. It's lying nice and flat now. So that's what you do with that. Right, so I want to really ink this. And I know some of you aren't into inking. That's fine. If you're not, you don't have to be. But I like my inking, so I'm going to get my vintage photo out. That seems to be my flavour of the day at the moment. And my dauber, here we go. And I am really going to ink this. So as you go down there, that crease stands out beautifully, which is lovely. And then I'm just going to go around it all. You don't actually have to do this back piece, in fairness, but you do need to do this piece here. Because it's going to be one that you stick on a page. So I'm coming in from the edge because I've used really white card. And somebody was asking me the other day, could I tell them what papers I'm using as I go along? Well, this one, it honestly is just a piece of card that I had. It was bought from an auction so long ago. Doesn't really, the ink doesn't blend very well on it, if I'm totally honest with you. But you know, kind of does the job. So there we are. I've cut all the edges, I think. And we've got ink all over it. It does look a little bit blotchy. Don't worry about that, it'll be alright. Be alright on the night. Okay, so for the other one that I did, I used all numbers. For this one, I'm going to use a combination, and I'm using my eccentric set, which is CMS 448, and one of the best sets that Tim's ever done, in my opinion. The other set that I will be using some of is the Field Note set, and that's CMS 396. And these two sets, if you only have those, you'll be fine. You'll get through anything. So what's going to happen? Oh, I've inked the back. What a ninny. So that's going to go that way. We need to ink this side. What a ninny. I've inked the wrong bit. Dear me, we're doing well so far anyway. Not the end of the world, is it? Could do with some of that media mat stuff that Tim's got that stops things sliding around. Stop my ink pad sliding everywhere. Might have to get some of that. I don't know, I'm sure that Mr. F can come up with something that's comparable without having to pay Ranger prices. So there we are, finally got the right side. So that folds over there and that folds over there. So we want to decorate this piece and that little flap down there. So let's get cracking. I'm going to get my little makeshift stamping board out. You can see I've been stamping, over stamped in places, but never mind, that does not matter. So yes, it's this section and this section. Let's do this little one first. That's probably the easiest to do. There's the one here that says Postmaster something or other. That fit on there? Yeah, I think so. Where's my... Probably need that. Just make sure it's straight. Okay, and I'm going to stamp everything. All my stamping, I think, is going to be in the Versafine Clair Nocturne, the black. But I might change my mind and do some other colours, you never know. So, right. There's a lot of black on here, so just give it a chance. Give it a chance to transfer. Ah, Mr. F's come up with something. Told you he would. That's perfect. That's a really good stamp. All right, okay. It's called Technomats Non-Slip Grip Mat. This is what it looks like. Right. Like that. Should we give it a go? Should we give it a go? I don't know where that's come from. It says stops loose items from sliding. That sounds like exactly what we want. I knew he'd have something. It's got something for every occasion. Right, well, this is the stuff. He's cut me off a piece to go under my... Let's give this a try. So, that's there. Put your ink pad on. It's like, I'm firmly pressing on that, I can tell you. Oh yeah, it's just moved a little bit. That is stuck. It's stuck like you'd stuck it on. That's amazing. Thanks, Mr. F.
You're welcome.
You're fabulous. He's fabulous. Anyway, right, back at the ranch. What was I going to put there? I think that one that says type slide might just fit there. Yeah, I'm not going to get too hung up about little gaps hither and thither because you drive yourself dotty if you do. There we go. Oops, other way. Just put that there. Lovely. So that's the flap done. Yeah, that's looking nice. So now it's just this panel to do. So it's just a question of starting somewhere. Start somewhere, that's all. So what shall I start with? I like the for skill and amusement only. I have used it, look, but I've hardly ever used it. So I'm going to give that a go. So it amuses me. The whole thing, it's for amusement only and it amuses me. I might put it down this side actually. It's really, I was watching Kyung's last video with her envelopes. It's a lovely series actually. If you haven't been watching it, I recommend that you do. Kyung Shotwell on YouTube. Just go over, watch her, subscribe to her. She's just fabulous. She's just a wonderful person, actually. And she was... I've forgotten what I was even telling you now. Yeah, she was stamping using what I used to use before I went posh with an old camping mattress. She was using an old yoga mat. And you can get them in charity shops. I'm sure they're in thrift shops too. And you just cut them up like this. And they make the most amazing stamp blocks. I've been pressed on a bit too hard with that one whilst I was getting the... There's so many just gorgeous ones. I'll go with this one. Oh, don't you want to stick? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and she was getting some really good stamps. Now, I can keep that over a little bit because I've got that flap coming over the edge. So that's fine. I can leave a little gap down there. That'll be fine. I like this number 3. I really like it. So it's just, you know, whatever stamps you've got, just use them to fill up your space. That's all we're doing. We're just making a sort of stamp collage to fill the space in. Oh, I love that number 3, it's great. Not forgetting that we've got a tag going sort of here, so you don't need to be too particular about the middle. Can I get that there? Well, I'd prefer a word, really. If there is a word, is there a word? Is there anything on here that I could use? What does that one say? Does that fit there? No, it doesn't. I need something that one will fit. That'll go perfectly there. Marvellous. And you shouldn't really do that. You should always take the ink pad to the stamp. But you know, we all do this now and then. Perfect, that's lovely. I might put that there. And I'm coming into the realms of where the tag's going to go over the top. So I'm just going to start to concentrate on the edges. I might put that down the bottom actually. I really like that stamp. Put that about there. And oh, that one, I hardly ever use that, so let's use that one. So this corner you definitely will see. So I want something up there that looks nice. I do like this set of numbers. I think I'm going to use that again. Oh, I've just given myself a ghost print there. I'll leave that. I don't think I can stamp over the top of it, so I'll leave it. It'll be fine. I like those figures 1, 2 and 3. I like them. Might put them there. Put them about there. Lovely. Oh, I might put them somewhere else as well, actually. Might put them there. That's great. That's lovely. Now then, something for here. What should we use for that? Oh, I've just seen this. And I love this one. It's big and bold. So I'm going to put that down there. Just on the off chance you can see just the edge of it. And I'm going to put it down here. So I've just got a little gap there now to fill. What shall I use to fill it? Not saying going that way, there's nothing stopping me having that. Oh, it's quite a big gap, isn't it? I've left myself a gap that I don't know what to put in. Does reserved fit it? Oh, that might. That one there might. Does that fit? No, just not. How about tag number? Does that fit? No, don't be silly. It's way too big. No, I'm going to have to go across, I think. So I'll just go across. I need to move this. I like to stamp from the side. Don't know why. So I'll pop that there, and then I'll put another skinny one in there. That's quite skinny. That'll do. So I'll pop that there. Lovely. So that's kind of the edges done. I could do with something down here. Well, guaranteed strictly high grade. Does that fit? Does it, heck? What's wrong with my eyes today? That one would though, that's nice. Oh, it's a bit similar to that. I'll bring that down to there, I think. Pop that on there. Maybe get away with that along there as well, actually. Let's give that a go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. So, something in there. I might put that way, actually. Have it going sort of right way, not sideways. Lovely. Something else. Stressful, isn't it? I quite like this one. I think that one would go there. Yeah, that's nice. I think we're probably all right there, but it doesn't do to be over. You can be over cautious, can't you? I think. Let's try this one. No, but it would go there. Oh, would that fit up there? Yeah, it would. Let's do that then. Excellent. So I've got this bit of a gap here that I need to find something to go in. I've got a little circle thing. Yeah, that'll go in there. That'll be fine. Still left me with the tiniest of gaps. Which tiny things do I have? That's not in any way tiny enough. That's quite thin. Would that fit there? Oh, it might, you know. Just might. Just might not as well, but I won't cry. Let's just see. Look at that. Perfection. So possibly something down here. What about putting that there? That would be fine. Lovely. I'm pretty sure we're all right there. But maybe I'm just going to get the tag that's going to go there. Now for this tag, I've cut out a piece that is 2 1/4 inches by 5 1/2, and it's going to go kind of there. So yeah, look, I've got everything covered and more. So that's fine, because don't forget that the flap is coming over there. So, and that's going there. Yeah, well, maybe something just there actually. And then apart from that, we're sorted. We're ready to rock. That'll go there, look, just perfectly. And then we're definitely covered all sides up. Lovely, that's that. Great. So I've got a pile of stamps here, but I'm not going to put them away just quite yet because I need them for other things as well. Put the lid on my ink and just turn it upside down. Right, so what I want to do now is use some ink on it. So before I do that, I'm going to make sure that this VersaFine is completely dry. It does take a little minute to dry, so rather than me putting ink and water and stuff on it, I'll just make sure it's properly dry first. Looks nice though, doesn't it? That'll be fine. That will be fine. Now, I've decided for this one to use Distress Oxide spray and shabby shutters. Somebody asked me yesterday, let me just pick my board up. Oh, there we go. They didn't have these sprays of any sort, and were asking if they could use anything else. Now, it's really nice to have all the distress sprays, and you know, you feel posh because you've got them all. But you can use anything. You can use any sort of paint you like. You use watercolour, gouache, acrylic, emulsion, gloss, furniture paint, whatever you have, fence paint, anything. And just get a saucer or a little plastic bag or something, tip some of the paint out that you're going to use, put some water in with it, thin it down a little bit, get a fan brush if you've got one, or if not, any brush you've got, pick the ink up and then get your bone folder or something and just do that over it, and the ink will splat, just the paint will splat, and give it time to dry, because if you're using gloss or something, that will take slightly longer to dry. But just give it time to dry and then it'll be fine. It will be no different than if you used the sprays, you know. So what I'm going to do is, I've got a piece of acetate here. It's an old piece, it's all dinked and everything, but it'll be fine. And I'm using a new one here, Shabby Shutter, which I haven't actually used before because it's still got its seal on. How exciting. So I'm just going to cut round that, preferably without cutting my fingers. You should always try and keep your fingers away from the blade side of your scalpel. Then if it does slip, hopefully it won't take your fingers off. Right, so there we are. I've shook it all up, shaken it all up, should I say. So everything's mixed up, and I'm just going to spray a little bit onto this acetate. Oh, it's a gorgeous colour. I love that colour. And then I'm just going to mush it together like that. I must admit, I usually use cellophane, and I think it's better on cellophane. But never mind, we're using acetate this time. And I'm just going to smush that down in certain places, just to add a bit of colour. I don't know that that's adding as much colour as I would like. In fact, I can tell you now it's not, and I can also tell you that I don't like the acetate. So let's move along the bus and get another colour. I'll just dry that off. I'll dab up what I can. I'm just not keen on that. It doesn't stand out enough. It is a gorgeous colour. For something else it would be perfect. But because there's so much vintage photo on here, it needs to be something quite bright. So my choices are Salty Ocean or Prize Ribbon. Ooh, what shall I go for? I don't know, what shall I go for? What shall I go for, Mr. F? Prize Ribbon or Salty Ocean? This is Prize Ribbon. Prize Ribbon. Okie dokie. So this is another new one. Well, you definitely see this one because it's Prize Ribbon. I've never used it before. Even in an ink pad I've never used it before. So it'll be interesting to see. Right, I'm going to have to give this a good shake, because you need to get all this, I don't know what it is, but you need to get it all shaken in, that much I can tell you. That's starting to go now. That's fine. Right, so I have a cellophane bag here. They're just the bags that come with any of the products that you buy. They're nothing fancy, but I like the way that the ink sits on them. So I don't want too much. Oh my goodness, that is a gorgeous colour. And I just smush it like that and fold it again and just keep folding it, and you'll see that it sits like that on the cellophane, which is just great. And you can then transfer it exactly where you want it onto your work. Oh, got quite a lot there. Yeah, I think that looks nice. I think that's sufficient actually. I like that. Let's just get this and pick that up. And if you think you've got like here it's quite linear, and here there's a bit of a blob. So I'm just going to take my water mister and just spray that. It just moves it a little bit. And stops it looking quite so straight edged. So there we are. Yeah, that look, it's lovely now. I really like that. So let's dry that off. That is a beautiful colour, isn't it? It looks gorgeous with that shabby shutters as well. But we're just using this. So you see, you can change your mind in the middle of a project. That's a really, really nice colour. Love it. I love it. Oh, I didn't put any on my little flap. Let's just do that. I'm just going to put that down, and still got my ink on here. So I'm just going to add a little bit onto that flap. That was such a little bit, it's not visible. So there we are, that's fine. I don't need to water, that looks good, looks all right to me. Just make sure it's dry. I probably, you know, would have been all right going with the shabby shutters, because you can see now it's dried. It's really lovely. But I'm not sorry we're using this, I really like it. Okay, so let's get this glued up. Like that. Before I do that, I want to stitch around mine. You don't have to stitch around yours at all, but I'm going to stitch down I'm going to use zigzag, and I'm going to stitch down the flap and then kind of just around this section here. So I'll see you in a sec. Right, there we go, that's that stitched round. I've used a zigzag, as I said, and just trim some of these ends off. I did end up going round there just in case it was visible. I like to leave a little bit of thread ends, not massive, but some thread ends on my Timmy project. So that's that. So we now need to glue that down. Doesn't that look lovely? Ooh, yes it does. So glue. So along the bottom, because it's going to be a pocket, so over those stitches, because they're always the bits that are reluctant, and then down this side strip. Make sure that you get glue on the stitches. There we go. Right, so fold that in, make sure it's straight, and fold that over. Let's get my bone folder. It's always more reluctant to stick when you've stitched it, and I've put rather too much glue on to try and counteract that. I'm just temporarily going to stick some clips on there just to help it on its way. Looks like it's sticking now, so we're all right. What did we do before clips? They are so useful. Right, there we are. So we've got that. Now then, the next thing we need to work on is the front tag, and it's going to go there like that, and it maybe could do with being about 1/4 of an inch shorter. So let's do that, and then I'll tell you exactly what it measures. It measures 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. So if you've made your box the same way as I have and you're making your tags the same size, you need 5 1/4 by 2 1/4, and that'll sit there really nicely. Excellent. Marvellous. Right, let's take off some corners here, and this is the corner I've been using throughout for my tags, but it's too big for this. It would just look silly, so I'm going to use a smaller corner. And just trim those off. Ink it, then we need to ink it up with the vintage photo. There we are. Get my inky board out again. And my fabulous non-slip stuff that Mr. F's found for me. I'm going to put that there. That's where I want it. Oh, this is just unbelievable. Right, so we're just going to ink around it, same as we did before. I think my vintage photo is taking a right hammering over this past couple of weeks, to be fair. And I think it's just starting to give up the ghost a little bit. You see, it's starting to get a little bit scratchy. That's not helped by the fact that the paper's pretty ropey as well. But it'll all be fine in the end. So just make sure that you've done over your edges so they stand out nicely. There we are. Right, so that's that. It's just maybe a little bit white. I'll just run that over like that. Ink pad never moved. Thank you so much, Mr. F. You're a star. An absolute star. So we've got that. So the next thing that we want to do is some stamping. Let's get my... Oh, dropped it. My posh stamp pad out. It does please me that this was so cheap. I mean, I'm just delighted. I think we might have to find a longer term method of sticking it on, however, because the washi tape wants to come off, and what do you call it, masking tape, and it's quite annoying. So I'll ask Mr. F about that when we're finished. Now here I just want a fairly plainish stamp, like a grid or something like that. Let's see what I've got. I've got this one. It's got those big, no, maybe a bit too big. I've got this stamp set. This is a nice stamp set. It came from Ali. I don't know anything more about it than it came from Ali, but it is a cracking stamp set. And I'm going to use this grid. Just use that. I'm just going to use this one with the handle, because that's all I need. And I'm going to use the VersaFine Clair again. My desk's now in a right mess. I think if I used it that way, I'd get more width, more coverage. Yeah, I would. Let's just do that. I'm just going to do that all the way down. I don't want really much more decoration on it than that, because we are going to decorate this one. Oops. That's fine. And one more just at the bottom. That's great. That's fine. It's, you know, it's got a pattern on it. It's got some texture on it, which is all I was after really. So pop that away there. Put the lid on that. And then I want to just colour it again with my prize ribbon. So I'm going to use a piece of this just to put under it. Save my board getting all messed up. Let's just make sure that's dry. It should be, no reason why it wouldn't, but I'm just being sure. Just being careful. So you see all the marks that we had in the brown in the vintage photo that looked terrible. You can't even see them now. So if this should still be wet, I think. Let's give it a try. Yeah, that's lovely. Oh, it's not that good actually. Certain bits are wet, other bits not so much. I might just have to put some more on there. That'll do. Now I've got too much. That's fine. Now I'm just going to give that a spray that way, just to encourage it to move a little. That's it. It's off on its journey. That's great. Just softens it up a little bit. That's good. I'm happy with that. It's fine. That's good. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, cellophane is the way forward. Those cello bags that come with all the Timmy things and probably everything else that we buy, just put them to one side and keep them, and they really come in. I think they're good for this. Right, I'm going to have to pause you there because I've got to go searching for things. Right, okay, I think I've found what I wanted. I forgot I was looking for a butterfly as well, so, oh no, we're all right, I've got a sheet here. These butterflies came from Etsy. I can't remember who, but if you put butterfly, junk journal, digi, butterfly in, you'll get loads. And I quite like that one. I think that one will that one fit? Yeah, because it might not. It might be that one. Let's cut these out and just see which ones fit. I'd like that one to fit, but maybe it won't. Ooh, maybe it just will. Okay, so I need to fussy cut around there. I'm going to use my fancy new fussy cut scissors. So I'll try and do this as quickly as I can, but I am not the fastest fussy cutter in the West. These scissors, oh man, they are just lovely. Cut around his head a bit. I don't want to cut his head off if I can help it. Usually I print a load of these off and then sit in the evening and fussy cut them, but I haven't got round to the blue ones obviously. There we go. Do you want to fit there? Yes, just. Let's put the little thing back on these. And I'm just going to squiz round my butterfly with a little bit of vintage photo, whatever's left on the dauber. Just Let's get rid of those white edges. And that bit there where I haven't cut too well. There we go. Lovely. Right, let's pop him on there then. Oh, he looks lovely. I like him. So he's going to have to go over the stitching, but that's okay. It's quite an investment in time, this tag, to be honest. So I just want that kind of 1/4 of an inch maybe underneath where the angle for the corner is. Yeah, he looks nice, doesn't he? Lovely. So next thing that I want to do is get a ticket. Any ticket. Tim Holtz does tickets. There's loads of tickets around. This is an actual ticket, to be honest with you. Feels like it's double. Oh yeah, look. It's like that. Oh well, I'm going to fold it in half anyway because it's too big for me. So that's now quite sturdy because there's 4. Is it still too big? Yeah, I think it is still a little bit too big. Let's just chop that off. About there. That's lovely. And I'll just give it a little bit of ink around it. Not much. I just genuinely want it to look like it's aged. It is actually quite old, but it doesn't look it. So let's help it on its way. There we go. So that's going to go there. Then what's going to happen is I've got some of this gorgeous blue seam binding that I buy from a lady on eBay. It's gorgeous. It's just, it's not that expensive, and it just saves you time doing it yourself, which is a bit of a faff. So I want 2 pieces, similar sort of length. Where's my end gone? So let's have a look and see what the length that was about there. Make that one a bit shorter. And then I want a blue button. And lo and behold, when I was looking, I found I had a whole box of blue buttons. So, yeah, I mean, there's plenty. There's loads. I quite like that one. Little flower shaped one. What would that one look like? Look quite nice, I think. I'll just keep on looking. You never know what you might find, do you? That's another one of those. There's a gingham one. Good Peter Rabbit one. There's a heart-shaped one. Heart-shaped wooden one. No, I'll stick with that. I like it. I just wanted to move through my button box, really. So I'm going to stick this on first, because otherwise we'll just be doing battle with it. So I need to, yeah, just stick it together at the bottom. Like that. And then just going to put some on the bottom. And just a little, halfway up, say, something like that. So the top bit's free. And that's going to go right there like that. Lovely. Stick. Too much glue. There we go. Right, that's okay. Please stick. Stop being awkward. Right, so what I'm going to do is stick that there. Just a bit of glue and stick it, and it doesn't matter if it comes through the ribbon. That's all right in this occasion. So I'll stick that down there. And the other piece is also going to get stuck on, so a bit of glue there as well. Stick that at a slightly different angle perhaps, like that. That's fine, might be a bit long that actually. But we can trim it. And then I'm going to get my button and sew it on there. So this is cotton perlé, actually, crochet cotton, and it's strong but quite thin. It's perfect, actually, for the job. And I've got a needle that probably isn't perfect for the job, to be honest with you, but it works, and it's kind of thin, so it goes through most the holes on the button, if you know what I mean. So let's just do that. Right, so I'm going to get my pokey stick and hold the button where I want it to go, because otherwise you're doing battle with it, because my needle just isn't that strong. And I'm going to make my holes where the button's going to go, like that. Then I'm going to make them bigger, so I can actually get my needle through. And it's quite important to do this while your glue's still wet, because if it dries, it goes hard and you can't get through it. Right, so starting from the top, through the button, through one of the holes, like that. Hold on to your ends, then up the other hole that we've made, and up through the other hole in the button. Simple as that. Couldn't be any simpler, could it really? And I'm still faffing. There we are, like that. That's great. So now your button's on and you've got two ends that you can tie off, and I left it double so I will have 4 ends, so it'll look quite nice. So left over right, right over left. That'll keep that nice and secure. Then I'm going to cut my strings off at kind of different lengths. That's just a me thing. You can cut them off same length if you want. There we go. So that's that on. I quite like all that there actually. If I cut that off, would it lie flatter? Possibly. Let's try it. Come on. No, it doesn't lie flatter, but it's nice. I like that anyway. So let me put my needle and crochet cotton away, and then I know where they will be the next time that I need them. Right, so that's that tag. Oh well, apart from the top, we need to put something on the top. Can't think I've got any blue textured card around, but what I have got is this, which I think we cut out to make an acetate window on something. I can't remember if I did it on video or not, to be honest. But it's just a bit of inked up card. And I'm just going to use that for my thing at the top. There we go. I think I can throw that away now. I'm probably not going to get much more use out of that. But that's what you get when you hang on to your scraps. You get things that are useful. So I'm just folding that in half. I'm just going to whiz around that with a little bit of vintage photo. Way. There we go, that'll be fine. And glue that in place on the top. Looks pretty, that, doesn't it? Place that fairly centrally at the top there, that's good. Push it right up into it. Hold that in place while it glues. That's okay. Now I'm going to put an eyelet in it. Phew, that was a struggle. It got stuck in the drawer above. I'm going to make it gold. I know it's Timmy and I don't usually do gold, but I like it. Make my little mark where I need to put my hole, because I'm hopeless otherwise. So it's there. It's where I need it to be. And the large hole on the crocodile. And then set the eyelet. Lovely, that's that. Now we need to find something to put in the top of the eyelet. And I've got some gorgeous, I could use that if I wanted to, but I think it's a bit of overkill really. But I have this gorgeous, this is all I've got left of it. Janya sent me a beautiful present, and it was wrapped up with this twine. And it's kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a sort of neutral colour. And it's thicker than the twine I've got, and it's softer as well. It's gorgeous, I love it. And I've been saving, I've been using it so sparingly. But, you know, the time has come for this project to use it. So, I think it's perfect. So I'm just going to do that. Pull that tight. And we're going to glue this down, so I don't need to worry about these coming undone. They'll be fine. Right, so let's get this out again. Let's take the clips off. I'm sure that they are stuck by now. Stuck as they will ever be. And this is going to go here, like that. Oh, it's so pretty, isn't it? Yeah, stop blowing your own trumpet and get on with it. So I'm going to move that over to there, put that there. Right, so let's turn it over and we can mark on there what we want. So I've cut out my small tag that's going to go in the side there, and it measures 2 3/4 by 2. 2 3/4 by 2. And it's going to go in sort of there, like that. So I can make myself lines of where I want to glue. So that's the tag. So obviously I need to not, allow it enough room for the glue to spread. So I'll use the collar this time, see if it wants to glue a bit more quickly. So just down a little bit from that mark that we made. Go over your stitches, don't forget your stitches. Like that, same up at the top. Go over that twine that we've just put in. And it'll save it from coming undone. So there we are, right. Oh no, I need to also glue down this side, otherwise the tag will go straight through. Silly ninny. There we go. Right, so that's going there, like that. So make sure that it's pressed down where it needs to be pressed down. I did say this was quite an investment in time, and it is. I'm going to get the clips out again. Clip where I can reach, and I'll hang on to the rest. Right, so it's this bit that I don't know where my long clips have gone. Are they back in here? I know Mr. F had them, but I think I might have to go looking for them. Oh no, hang on. Looks like it's sticking. I'll just go and see if I can find them. Right, found the clips. Got it all clipped up, so that can be drying whilst we make the little tag that goes in there. So as I said, it's 2 3/4 by 2, and I'm going to cut the corners off that again, same size as the other tag, just the smaller corners, because the large ones on this, I mean, they just look ridiculous. Ridiculous. So there we go. And it's a similar recipe, similar kind of thing. Except it won't take too long because it's a smaller tag. So I'm just going to ink around that. I'd be interested to see if anybody uses something other than vintage photo to ink with. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? There we go, that's that done. Just scope that centre bit a little bit, and just stamp that. So I'll go back to this set of stamps because I really like them. But any stamps will do. You know, I can't impress that enough on you. Any stamps will do. A lot of stamping today. Oh, I haven't got my stamping board out. Let's hope it works. Using the wrong board. I have to give it a good press. Oh, that worked perfectly. That's a beautiful stamp. And then, what shall I use? Maybe that one? So yeah, as I say, I got this stamp set from Ali. I don't even know what it was called. So let's put this one here. And maybe one more little one along the bottom. What have we got that we can put along the bottom? What's that? That'll do just nicely. Perfect. Happy with that. So now we just need to put a hole in the top and some twine. Oh, I like that, it's lovely. So let's get rid of this dirty board. Dirty board. See where the centre is. It's just over an inch, so about there. And sticking with the gold theme, I think it would be wrong to change it now. Get in. There you go. And we'll put a bit of Jenya's twine in it. Oh, I've hardly got any left. There's a lot to this tag. All my tags will not be this complex, I can tell you. But it's nice to do one once in a while, isn't it? So on the back of here, where the strings come through the loop, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on there and a little bit of glue on there, just to stop it coming undone, because it will, and it's annoying. So that just needs a minute to dry, so that can go over there. Right, so the last part of it is the big tag that goes in the... Let's just see if this is dry. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. So those are the long ones. These are the short ones. Lovely. There we go. So I just want to make sure that the tag we're making for the back actually does fit. Glued that together. That wasn't clever. There we go. So let's see if that wants to fit in there. Just a little tight. So just take, it actually measures a little under 3 3/4, but it is still tight. So let's just take another little bit off there. Not masses, but a bit. See what that's got to say. Yeah, that's perfect. I think I've put too much glue on and that's it. It's fine. So I've made this to be 7 inches, which is the same as the rest of the tags, but because there's glue along the bottom, it's pushing it out at the top. So with that in place, I'm going to mark my 7 inches and trim it at that. So that's how much the glue spread out and displaced the tag. So if we trim that off, the tag will measure 7 inches and we'll all be happy because they'll all match. There we go. Right. So now on this one, I am going to use the same angle as I've used before for my previous tags. There we go. And I'm going to pause you at this point because all I'm going to do is ink it with vintage photo and put lots of number stamps on it, which you've seen me do a lot of today. So you don't need to watch me do that again. I'm going to just slide that in there because I want to see A, does it fit, and B, what does it look like? Oh, look at that. It's so nice. I haven't put any blue on that. Perhaps I ought to put some blue on that. Yeah. I am, even although it's tiny, I am just going to use my cellophane, just in case this has a mad fit and sprays for Britain or America. So just spread that out like that. I'm just going to pop a little bit there and a little bit there, and I think that's fine. It's quite a lot there. Just spread it out a little bit. You can see it moving, I think. That's looking better. Looking better. Yeah, that's looking nice now, actually. So I'll just leave that to one side to dry. This is our tag that we're working on at the moment. And as I say, I'll just pop you on pause because I'm just doing more of the same. But we'll come back when I've finished and for the grand uniting of all the pieces. Okay, so see you soon. Right, so I've completed this tag. It is exactly the same formula, if you like, that I used for the other one. I used all the stamps, then I put my prize ribbon on with the cellophane, stitched around it and put my lovely little what do you call it? String stuff. That stuff, yeah. So now we have our component pieces. This is the bit we made first. Then we made this lovely tag, and it really is lovely. And we made the small one, and the small one fits inside that one there, just like that. And then we've got the large one, which fits in at the back, which is pretty much the same size as all the other tags, but it's shorter. It's 1/4 inch shorter. And the reason for that, as I explained, is because there's glue on the bottom, so it won't go right to the bottom. So you have to sort of cut it to 7, put it in, and then see where you need to chop it, as I showed you when we're doing it. So this now just slips into here. Well, it doesn't actually slip yet. It will after a few more times. And that's that. So there we have it, guys. There is the finished tag. I hope you like it. I really, really like it. I love the button and the seam binding and the little ticket. I love the fact it's got that little tag there. This tag's beautiful with the butterfly on. So we've got 3 tags for the price of one. And this is my day 10 for the 100-day project. So we can honestly say we're 1/10 of the way through it. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Please bear in mind all the things I've said about substituting the inks for other things that you may have in your house already. And if you don't have, I know the DIY stores here, B&Q, Homebase, etc., they have tester pots of paint, and I know they're not as cheap as they used to be, but they're fairly cheap. You know, of emulsion is perfect. Go and get yourself a pot of that, and then just use it as I've explained to you. So there we go. I hope you liked that one, and I shall see you again very, very soon. Bye for now.